What's up, everyone? Good evening. Welcome to another stream. How is everyone doing? How is everyone getting ready for tomorrow's FOMC and what it looks like to be the first rate cut from the Fed? What's your expectation? Is it a 25 or a 50 basis points rate cut? What are you expecting? I would love to know it. Interesting day, again similar, where we had a turn. The dollar managed to respect the last demand zone at the lows, didn't really manage to break the low. It faked out this low in the middle, but ended up respecting that small level in there. That was still fresh because this one never reacted from it, neither the previous low in there. So it respected, then with the news, it created the momentum to go and to retrace to the upside, which is quite interesting. We had exactly the opposite then on the pound, on the euro, and so on. Even though the pound moved slightly, moved much more than the euro in here. So in terms of news, we had CPI in Canada, slightly better than expected, slightly lower than anticipated. It's basically what we have in there. Retail sales as well. Normal retail sales better. It was expecting to be negative. It was actually still positive. Core at 0.1 instead of 0.2. But of course, the focus is on tomorrow's FOMC. At this point, the odds are, 1 second, just to refresh the page. The odds are, right, we are at 63% for 50 basis points and 37% for a 25 basis points. Interesting enough, when you're looking at the news in the calendar, Forex Factory, you see that they're anticipating actually a 25 basis points, and not a 50 basis points. I think this is because they kind of added this number still last week, and last week it was maybe the odds were for 25 basis points. Before that, we have CPI in UK. So UK and the pound has been moving quite a lot today. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to do tomorrow morning. Then FOMC, then BOE, and then BOG on Friday. Let's jump into the charts and try to see what can we expect in here. All right, so what do we have? What can we expect? So as I mentioned, the dollar index managed to hold the low, so there was no break to the downside. Like, it looks like that it's creating a strong level of support at around this level, not really managing to break the downside. Now, is this being created just for tomorrow? We eventually to create enough liquidity so tomorrow you can have a spike in here, or is this actually a support and price will try to go higher from where it is? Again, personally, I still like the idea of seeing dollar index making a new low, taking everything in here, and afterwards moving to the upside. That's actually how I was positioned even today, even though I started noticing the PI to turn. I didn't really want to be too much part of it. I would have turned a bit more bullish if this high had already broken to the upside. Okay, if we had this kind of a move in here, I would have turned a little bit more bullish instead of price respecting the structure. Since we respected it, and there was still possibility to look for these lows to be taken. Again, this one was taken, price respected, which with the last demand zone at the lows. Meanwhile, we had this initial reaction from this level, but now price is moving to the upside, and this is basically the next structure in here that you're going to be looking for to see how price may react from this level. It's going to hold it and push lower, or if it starts breaking, then you are aiming the highs basically. So it's going to be interesting. What we have in here is basically price cleaning out the orders from the extremes so that he can make a decision tomorrow. And again, in 24 hours, we are going to find out what the Fed will do, and most likely are going to have a big reaction. It's going to be, I'm expecting one of those days that you're going to have a really big reaction straight away as soon as the rate is announced, because it's also showing the projections from the Fed until the end of the year and into 2025. So yeah, not much to talk about. At the lows, we may still have another zone to look for, or maybe that was already spiked with the news. Yep, maybe that was already spiked in here with the news, with the retail sale news. So yeah, a little bit of compression. Now looking to see if price kind of closes these gaps that are in here, and if price starts turning and challenging the walls again, or you're going to start moving to the upside. A separation in here that you need to pay attention to is basically this level in here at this point. So that's basically the key level in here to pay attention. And if price does want to come back into it, then we can see some, yeah, basically price already touched that level down, and then it was eventually a swap reversal in here, a resistance becoming support, and we do have also slightly this level. So those are just a couple of levels in here on the dollar index that you could potentially still see price respecting in case price still wants to go and respect. All right, be aware of also this high in here. Maybe there's something in here that price could react. So it will be somewhere around this level that you can expect some reaction in here on the dollar index. Otherwise, just take the lows. At the highs, yeah, the highs at this point, we need to see some lows being broken. If there's no lows being broken, then price will just continue to go higher. But somewhere around here, that's where I'm going to be looking for. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. S&P broke new all-time highs, and then it reversed straight away, right? So we end up managing to break new all-time highs today, and after that, price reversed immediately after that, right? So again, it respected that wall that you mentioned in last Sunday. So it respected that level, it moved to the upside, it started creating a little bit of a compression here, break out, and then we have the turn. And now where did it reacted from? Basically this last level in here that's still fresh in there, right? Now price starting to break below this level, then you start looking for price to go a little bit more to the downside. But this is a key level in here that can still hold S&P to the upside, and then you have, of course, something at the highs, even though it was already quite spiked to the downside, to be honest. So we could actually retest this highs to see what's going to happen in there. So that's an interesting one. So it's another index that managed to break all-time highs after the Dow. Now S&P, Nasdaq, as we know, is still quite far away from all-time highs, and there's no need to even break all-time highs, to be honest. But there's that level in there that maybe price wants to still use. We'll see, right? We'll see what kind of PI we are going to have in here. So that's a break to the upside in there. Then we have Nasdaq. Then Nasdaq still carry on respecting those highs. So I was looking for price to fake out all these highs in here, but price basically respected the last supply level that was still in here. That's basically the level in there where price respected it, and there you go. Right, initially breaks the low, right? It breaks the low, then fake outs with that move up, and then continues to move to the downside. Right, now filling the space. So that's a typical PI that we can look for, a typical pattern of reversal. And now where did it goes to? Again, basically the move created yesterday in here that was left behind that level of demand zone in here. And now interesting enough, price is basically cleaning every single demand on the way up, right? Again, there is not exactly a break to the downside. It's the beginning of a zone 3 type of a move. Again, that's a video that I'll be releasing if not this week, then next week, in terms of looking at zone 1, zone 2, and then zone 3, which goes into compression until we eventually have the reversal. That's going to be interesting. And now let's take a look into this, right? So again, I still want to see price going higher. I still want to see price faking out all these levels. That's going to be where I'm going to be looking for potential sales or short opportunities in here. If not even there, can even go higher, as I mentioned. But it's nice. It's nice to see that price is cleaning the demand zones as it moves to the upside, which then eventually makes it easier then for price to just break everything. If that's the case for tomorrow, for example, when then you have big news event, it's nice to start noticing price taking these levels in here, eventually then can just pass through above them. So that's something to bear in mind. Again, still open to possibility of going slightly higher. Dow one more time create a new highs, again similar PA of reversal where it breaks the lows, then fake outs the highs. Like it's the same thing, we have this structure in here, price breaks the lows, fake outs the level and moves downside. Again, where it goes to, basically that month zone still around this level where price basically moved to the upside from here. Let's do it this. Yeah, so that's basically where it's still respecting, and we'll see if there's anything in here that the Dow is going to react from, or is going to eventually challenge and look for new highs. Personally, I would actually prefer to see this low being broken. If that happens, then maybe we can start looking for price to go towards this level in there. Could even go higher first before making that move, but that will be a bit more of a bearish sign if you do manage to break below this level in there. So that's something. And then we have also DAX, like we're looking for DAX to continue. We talked about this continuation pattern after we do manage to break this important high, basically that separation of a high that is separating the upper edge with this lower extreme, right? So after we do break that level, usually you have this type of pattern where you fake out some lows, get some liquidity, and then you gain the momentum to go and fill the spice. And that's where basically the DAX got really close to. We had a really negative news in German this morning, right? We had what's it called, the economic sentiment, basically. What is it? Yeah, it's institutional investors and analysts that share their belief about the economy in German, and it was not that great, like 3.6 in here, which is quite low. It's quite a concerning here. Meanwhile, we just continue to see DAX approaching all-time highs. Let's see if this is not kind of for a turn from this highs. So I had the correction in here already, starting to turn a little bit. Again, we do have this level price is reacting right now, and you can still go slightly higher. To be honest, I would like actually to see DAX going slightly higher. Maybe in here would be my preferable level to look for the final short, but at this point we actually still have or created a new level in here that price can react from as well. So if by any chance price now, that since you managed to break below this low, maybe if you do manage to break below that low as well, it can even open more space to the downside. It's going to be interesting. All of a sudden we have all this space in here to go and move towards to. So that's something to bear in mind. Yes, we may have that level, or we can go slightly higher. But we are getting closer into this structure in there. That's basically where the DAX got really close, and yet that was the space that we were looking for price to fill. So that's going to be interesting. We may be getting closer to a good short on the DAX. So that's something to track and to keep an eye on. Second. All right. Yeah, this one just continues not to be within this structure. We had a really positive day on crypto. So there you go, Bitcoin above 61k, and we finally managed to break that level. So we kind of tested it a little bit. Price went down. It fake out slightly this low. It still respected this demand zone that we have in here, and then a really nice touch, and it just skyrocketed to the upside, and they're looking for price to get closer to this structure here, right? So really positive day in crypto, particularly Bitcoin as well, with 4.75%, so 4.79% gain today. Quite interesting. Ethereum as well, moving to the upside after respecting this level, start creating PA and the push to the upside as well, right? So we'll see what's going to happen there, and then so on as well in here. But interesting move ahead of the Fed on crypto. And then you go into the other currency pairs and Euro index. There you go, continuation to the upside, and you finally managed to break above this structure. So we were compressing quite a lot in here. And 1 second. Yeah, we're compressing quite a lot. We talked about that turn in here, so faking out that low and respecting these lows, right? As long as it was respecting these lows in here, then we had the possibility to move higher in here. So we did manage to break this trend line, break this high as well, and now price getting closer to this level in there. So we'll see what's going to happen, but nice momentum or turn in here on the Euro Index for something that we start looking as well with this PI in there. And then the Yen Index also continuing to move to the downside. Like we're looking for price to get closer to this level. To be honest, after that turn that we talked about yesterday, right, we just had the continuation. In this case, Yen Index didn't really retrace all the way back towards this level. It just paused slightly underneath that. Like it just kept respecting this previous structure in there instead of going all the way. So that's the level. It's still fresh, and we have now this space to fill in here. And you can see also that momentum that was created on the other yen pairs to the upside. Alright, so we'll see as well what's going to happen in here. Again, this was a nice turn, and perhaps you can have the continuation to the downside, not breaking this low. Maybe it has a little bit of retracement, and then you may continue to move, right? And all of a sudden you have all this range to play with again. So yeah, that's something to pay attention to in here. Now, looking at individual currency pairs, and if you guys recall, we talked about the CAD pairs. The CAD pairs, in particular Euro CAD and Pound CAD for today's session, and what a move, exactly what we predicted. Exactly what we predicted. We're going to take a look at it in a bit. Before the Euro, so we have Euro Dollar. Personally, again, still looking for price to go above that high, maybe eventually when dollar index may take those lows. Maybe that's going to happen or not. We'll see. The reality is that after those news event, the data came out in German. We had that turn. Before that, we already had a break to the downside. Those are the details that you need to pay attention to before a reversal. That was a break of a low. Again, it may be PIP, whatever it may be. If you don't trust this type of data, it's okay. I do pay attention to it, and it's kind of relevant in terms of starting to anticipate the turn. That doesn't mean that maybe price will go from here. Could have gone higher, could have definitely taken that high, but it reacted from that level. It's basically one of the last levels in here in the lower time frame that price created in there, and there you go. All right, so we have a move again. This euro dollar move compared with the pound moved much lower, right? Pound is already reacting basically Monday open, euro not so much, and then you had that news event as well, the spike, and we are here. So let's see tomorrow. Maybe we're going to have something like that, and price moving to the downside. For some reason I have lack of data in here on 1 minute. Yeah, eventually I would like to see actually euro dollar getting closer to this level as well. So tomorrow maybe you have some PI like this, and you have a continuation to the downside in here on the euro, and now that you are breaking below these lows in here. But that's maybe something to pay attention to. Pound, as I mentioned, a bigger move, right? So basically retesting this opening, yesterday's opening. Good reaction from that last supply in here. Again, this was something that we eventually were looking for price to fake out the high, but as you can see as well, price starting to break lows, right? Price starting to break some lows in here on the way before going all the way up. That's a great pattern to pay attention to. And then you have another low being broken here, and then it retest and it dropped. So there you go, good move, a good move in here, and then there was a continuation as well as price kind of break below this low, just retest and goes to the downside. Right, this is exactly the type of patterns that you set up that you are looking for in here after such a big momentum to the upside for the last few days. Good turn. Good turn in there on the pound. Can price still go higher? Can even fake out this level in here? Yeah, perhaps it can, and we'll see what's going to happen whenever that happens. For now, this is what we have. So we'll see tomorrow morning, and we have CPI, so maybe we're going to have straight away some kind of volatility in here on the pound. Am I expecting price to just react from here? It's question mark. Like again, we're looking for the shorts that happen. Now price is within this range. We'll see what's going to happen next. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen next. Maybe in here, there's enough structure in there to look for some kind of a move. Or price wants to go all the way and take these flows. Like, that's the question as well. Good. So yeah, let's create some kind of range at this point in here. Yeah, so we'll see Euro pound move to the upside with this momentum on the pound. So it moved to the upside in here after basically still respecting this demand zone in there. So we'll see what's going to happen as well in here if it gains momentum, and you have CPI and then you have BOE. So maybe that's an opportunity to look for that trade on the Euro pound. Yeah, we'll see. Aussie dollar ended up faking out that high that we are also looking. So euro dollar, pound dollar didn't fake out a high. Aussie dollar did it, and I could still continue to see price going slightly higher. Again, price is still respecting the structure in there. A lot of ranging in here, similar to what I mentioned as well. So basically yesterday and today is basically collecting some orders that were left behind in order to free the space to eventually make the move tomorrow. But yeah, it ranged in here, so it faked out, it turned straight away. This was already also an engulf to the downside, so it started opening the door to go towards here, and this is basically a break of a low as well. So we start having some break of a lows on the way up, and this is exactly what we want to see for eventually turn. But maybe price would go higher even first before potentially making that move, and I'm still open to that possibility. Again, price retested quite a few times in here. We could go higher first before making that turn. So that's something to bear in mind in here. The other Aussie pairs, there's not much to look at. Then it takes us into the Aussie yen, right? And the yen pairs. There you go. Turn to the upside. We finally managed to break above this highs in here. Personally, as I mentioned, I was more looking for this Aussie yen to go lower before turning. In here it decided to turn from where it is, so we'll see what's going to happen next, what kind of structure we're going to create around this level, or if we're going to start challenging and going to the upside from where we are. That's going to be, yeah, we'll see what kind of PAs we're going to create in here, if there is a move for a continuation now that you broke above this structure in there. Dollar yen, we talked about it as well yesterday. So there was that engulf. No, yesterday it's still respected, but you're looking for price to create that engulf to the upside, and then the turn, the continuation in this case. Like we talked about the possibility of price potentially retesting this demand zone, which never happened in here. So price actually left this level behind. That's interesting, and now it continues. Finally breaks this trend line as well and start aiming towards this level, eventually that level in there as well. And if not, then you're looking in here. So 3 levels in here to pay attention: this one, that one, and the next one is going to be higher. As a continuation, maybe price can do this as well, or eventually can come back all the way in here. So that's what we have on the dollar yen. Really nice move. Again, it has been dominated with the yen pairs. All of them have been in alignment, which is quite interesting. And it's not that common, at least it hasn't been common for quite a few months, which we see the yen pairs always in alignment. Sometimes you have eventually euro yen, pound yen moving one way, dollar yen moving another way, but now it's basically everything in alignment. So the patterns, they basically are quite similar across the yen pairs. Again, we talked about exactly this level, if you recall yesterday. the reaction from here. That was something that we were expecting. Price did reacted, but then there you go, continuation of fake out is above low, and now continuation to the upside, and you are looking for price now to get to the next structure in there. So that's going to be the next key level in here on the euro yen. But there you go, it starts turning. We talked about as well of this move to the upside in here. This is an engulf up, which means that maybe price from here is actually ready to go all the way. All right, again, of course, not going to go in a straight line. There's going to be a lot of movement in here, and price can still go towards its level again as well. All right, price can fake out whichever these lows into here before making that move. So that's still a possibility. And you have BOG on Friday, so it's maybe a possibility. Maybe they are leaving those levels behind for Friday. Who knows? We'll see. But nice turn in here again. On the end, same thing. Yeah, respected that low, and now it's breaking the highs. Broke trend line as well. Continue. A little bit of a reaction from here. Eventually it breaks the highs and starting to look upwards. I would like to see it going towards this level before looking for something else, or eventually even in here. Right, those are basically bit of my favorite levels in here. And I could actually see eventually price going somewhere closer to this level, to be honest. But yeah, expecting some reaction. We'll see how price may react from around this level as well. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on pound yen. All right, and then you go into the CAD pairs, right? So again, as we mentioned, dollar CAD, it was just in the range. Basically, price reacted from that level that we had in here, but it stays within this range. So even with the CPI, it's quite uncertain to see which direction actually this dollar CAD is going to go towards to. I'd like to see at this point actually a fake out of this highs in here, but in my opinion, it's maybe still missing. Even though we broke this low, we didn't really manage to break the structure that this was reacting from. Therefore, I still don't really see any engulf to downside in here, and that would be something that is missing. But we could definitely fake out these highs also first before making that move. So we'll see what's going to happen at around this structure. Again, it's just in a range in here. And Euro CAD, right? So that was one of the pairs that you're looking for. Again, bigger picture, we have this. Right, and then we were looking for two levels. One of them it will be around this structure, which is basically where price actually spiked, and then the other one it will be above this high, somewhere closer to that level in there. What did they have before that as well? Like the break to the downside, right? The pattern basically. Again, we have a structure in here, and you start having that low being broken. You have a lot of compression, you have a low, and then you have that final spike, right? And this was with the news, right? With the news, so it was not the easiest one to trade, I have to admit, because of the news of the spike that happened in here. But yeah, maybe somewhere in there, maybe could have found an opportunity, or after price comes back into this level below this structure in here, maybe could have found an opportunity. Again, Euro CAD, similar to Euro Dollar, didn't really move that much. Like, unfortunately, didn't really move that much, and still kind of within this trend line as well that we have in here. Now, if you look at the pound CAD, that's a different story. Right, that's a different story. That's exactly the levels that we were looking for. Perfect reaction. Like on the 4-hour time frame, we mentioned after price broke those these highs in here, and we are now trading at levels around COVID time. There is this daily demand and supply, and this 4-hour level as well in there. Like that was the level that we had, and you stay patient. You stayed patient, and you just waited for price to go. What did you have as well? Similar pattern, right? We have a range in here. We have price breaking lows, starting to show indication where it wants to go next. And then there you go, break to the upside, and then finally with the spike, price went there. And then it created some PI in here, right? And this was maybe the opportunity to look for the entry, right? Price created a spike, it went down, it tried to go, it didn't manage to, and in there, that would be a great entry. And then as price evolves, then you could continue to look for something else, right? And this is something that we're going to talk within the webinar in terms of zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. This is basically a zone 3 into a zone 4. And this is the pattern of that zone 4 type of a move, which basically is the same as zone 1. And now we are looking for a potential zone 2. The price does retest to this level. Maybe we have a continuation in here. first target to look for, and that's why that was a high probability setup. It will be always the retest of that high that we broke, like that level. That's the first target, the target that we were looking for initially, which basically had this opportunity, right, to look in here. So we are at least retesting exactly to the pip that that previous level, and I could still see price going slightly lower in here, right? So basically price is retesting that previous high in here, now working from resistance to support. But I would actually like to see either price retesting this demand zone first and maybe start going higher, and then this one as well, right? But because this is the demand actually to manage to break the previous high, so I do believe they are important. I do believe that price is going to react, to have some reaction from here. All right, so that's exactly a level in here, right? So we predicted exactly that move. It happened, target reached. It could have been a great trade, again, with great risk reward, with a high probability target to look for. Beautiful. Now we are looking for potentially a reaction. Again, tomorrow we have CPI in the UK, so maybe price even going to basically break everything and maybe going to go towards to the next level. But I do expect some kind of reaction maybe first in here, before anything else. So we'll see price kind of has some kind of reaction from this level, and then we'll see, right? Then the curiosity is going to be to see how price may react around this level in here. And then outcard as well, like Aussie card, that's another one that we were looking for. We talked about the high probability setup after price breaking this level. So now it fake out the highs. All right, it paused a little bit in here. In this case, we didn't really had a proper break of a low just yet. Maybe some structure in there, and then you had this one in here. So we started to open space a little bit to go towards this level. And there you go. We have the fake out. Again, ours has been a bit more stronger than the pound, for example, and you haven't really had a bigger move to the downside. Now price just reacted from that level. It may still want to go in there, and that's actually where I'm going to be waiting for a little bit more, is price to get a little bit closer to this level. But it reacted from a valid level on the one time frame. You can see exactly where it reacted from, which is really good. But yeah, so that was another opportunity. Again, price breaking slightly lows in here. We'll see how price may react from this level, but personally I would love to see price going slightly higher in here before making that move. It's nice to see now price breaking some lows in there, but you definitely have this structure to pay attention to in here. So yeah, Aussie CAD continues to be also in my radar. Again, these CAD pairs, aside actually from dollar CAD, interesting enough, dollar CAD is one that is not really providing anything in this range, opposite to the other ones. They are providing quite an interesting approach. Dollar franc Swiss also turning, so it respected still the demand zone in here. Again, similar pattern, break the highs, pick out the lows, and it goes with it, right? So you can see how often this pattern occurs before a reversal. Like, and it's something that it gives you preparation, because you need to break to the upside. And you sometimes you do have this trend line. It can be also useful to define exactly when then to look for the entry. And you had this fake out in here as well. Somewhere in there could have been a good entry. Now, are you ready to go all the way? Not so sure. We'll see. Now, it did manage to break above these highs or that structure. Let's see if price is happy to go from here, or if it wants to still fake out this level somewhere in there. So that's something to bear in mind here on our franc Swiss, if you are ready to go, or if price by any chance wants to go lower first before moving higher. So that's something to bear in mind in here. But yeah, nice reaction. Then you had gold moved to the downside. So gold managed to respect those highs from yesterday and started to move to the downside in here, breaking some structure. Moving lower again, broke these lows as well in here, getting a little bit into this level, which may start opening door to go slightly lower. Question mark is if it's going to be directly from here, or maybe you have a new fake out before turning, right? So that's something to bear in mind as well. It's going to be interesting as well to see how gold's going to react to tomorrow's news. Gold has been quite bullish in this situation. Now we're going to start with these rate cuts. It's going to be interesting to see if gold continues with this momentum or not, or if pauses. Like, it's going to be really interesting, not just tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the first reaction. More importantly, in the next week, for example, until Friday, and then the week after that, how is the market going to be positioning themselves after the news. Like, that's going to be key. Then we have silver. Silver also continue to respect still this structure in here. All right, so we had this breakout to downside, and I'm still looking for price to go slightly higher. That's still my expectation in here on silver. I would like to see silver going slightly higher before moving to the downside, and we even have that level. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on silver as well to see if we do have that short opportunity, as price now is ranging around this structure. So let's see if we do have that move. And then you have oil, which just made another continuation to the upside. Like, so it filled out the compression, basically went all the way towards this high. We mentioned that after price basically breaking above the structure, there was all this to be filled, and price basically did that. Right, so we managed to break in here, and price respected that level, and now continue to the upside. And I'm looking more for oil to get closer to this 70 to something, somewhere around this structure, not exactly to turn where it is. So I'm expecting a new high in here on oil, and then you may have a move to downside. That's a move that I want to see. Last week, kind of, I didn't really give as much importance maybe as I should had when we had this low. So that was a really good opportunity to look for a long. I didn't really take it. And then after that, we had just to continue. Created some PI, continue to the upside. Then we managed to break above that high, and eventually fill out this price. Right. So again, really great move in here on oil during this last week. And now we are approaching this level, and I'm really curious to see how price may react from here. All right, so that can be an interesting level of support resistance to see how price is going to react from that structure. Now looking at Brent as well, right? So breaking to the upside, there's maybe a little bit more room to the upside in here on Brent. Similar scenario. Yeah, so we will see. Yeah, I'm really curious to see. Yeah, maybe that level as well. Yeah, so again, I would like to see a bit more continuation to the upside in here. And then you may have the turn. Yeah, so that's it basically for tomorrow, for the big day, for the big event. Dollar, is he going to hold these lows and move to the upside? Question mark. Or is price going to use all these support level, all these lows as liquidity, and they're going to just fake out the lows and then move to the upside, or just eventually break the lows and continue to the downside? That's a question mark, which also goes into the pound, the euro, and so on in terms of that high that you are looking for. Is price going to fake out that level and have some reaction from here and turn, or not? Like recently we also saw a move to the upside on the euro. So we will see what's going to happen. Pound tomorrow, FCPI first. It's going to be an interesting one as well to see what's going to happen. Again, pound today made a much better move. So that was the pair to trade today. It was reversal on the pound pairs, pound dollar, pound CAD as well. CAD, are you going to continue to look for more sell opportunities? I do believe so. So I want to see price coming back into the highs that were created today. Potentially look for more sells, even though pound CAD can actually react from where it is right now, this previous level of resistance becoming support, and may just continue this bullish momentum. So it's going to be something to track as well. The indices with S&P breaking new all-time highs, are you going to have a momentum? Is price just faking out the highs and now is going to completely turn? Again, big question mark. We are at an interesting level on the S&P, on the Dow. Nasdaq, I still want to go a little bit higher before that. Gold as well at all-time highs. What's going to happen? Question mark in there. Aussie to go slightly higher before potential return. Dollar franc Swiss as well to see if it's going to create more momentum to the upside from where it is. And oil as well. I want to go slightly higher before looking for shorts again. We had a week with a lot of bullish momentum, and I'm looking for price to go slightly higher and then start turning in here. So that's going to be what you're going to be looking for. The yen pairs, of course, also can continue to go slightly higher, with the yen moving slightly lower as well. So we'll see if that shift continues now ahead eventually for Friday. Yeah, interesting. I do like where some of the assets are, where price is at the moment in some assets. I still don't really have a clear bias. I still would like to see price going to some levels first before actually completely reversing. So yeah, I'll be open-minded. And tomorrow the goal is to find what levels are being broken ahead of the news, because that's what you can, or you can predict which direction price will go. Now, everything can be quite quickly. Even though price may go down first, for example, it may just eventually turn and go and create momentum, or vice versa, right? So again, be cautious with tomorrow's session. It's going to be a unique one. Not really sure if I'm going to trade direct with that. Again, because of the FOMC tomorrow, there's not going to be the live stream tomorrow, because it's going to be virtually, there's nothing to analyze when you actually are into the Fed. I'm going to be trading the FOMC, so not going to do the stream. And so yeah, so I'll see you on Thursday or Friday. We'll see, because Thursday actually it might change the time to do it. Otherwise, we'll be back for sure on Sunday. That being said, guys, thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the week and for tomorrow in particular. Be responsible with your risk, right? Manage your capital. No need to trade it if you don't really see basically a plus setup sending out towards you. Right? So thank you. Bye bye.